We interrupt our program to bring you a special broadcast.
Boom! Headshot!
Hey, it's Clay. How's everybody doing? I have another League of Legends video for you. This time I want to talk about why buy Dr. Mundo. He's an extremely interesting and fun champion to play. I wanted to get this video out there not because I'm such an expert with him, but because there really isn't a lot of information on Dr. Mundo, and I felt like I could get some stuff out there to help anybody who's interested in Dr. Mundo, learning his playstyle, perhaps buying him and picking him up. Just to give some information about him. He's very, very interesting. He has some very interesting characteristics. I would primarily think of him as a tank. I think that is the role that he best serves. I like to play him as a jungler, but I think he could also work quite well in the top lane as a very, very strong bruiser. And with Dr. Mundo, he's very interesting because a lot of his damage is not so much based off of your build as it is based off of percentages, and also just kind of getting in the middle of things and soaking up damage, allowing your team to do a lot of damage. I must apologize because the start of this game is actually quite wretched. I'm a pretty bad jungler. It's probably the role that I understand the least, but I'm trying to learn it with Dr. Mundo, and actually late game the light bulb kind of went off and I kind of figured things out. It's also very weird because Nasus went top, and then he found Fiora and Misfortune, and he was just getting totally jumped on. As you can see, oh, right here, I'm in trouble. I'm in trouble. Am I going to get away? Oh, not quite. So I give up first blood. Definitely poorly managed there. Should not have been quite so aggressive. But like I said, the beginning of this game is quite poor. But I think towards the end of the game, it really starts to showcase what Dr. Mundo can do and how he can be most effective in your team. So let's talk about his skills and abilities as this very poor early game continues, as Nasus and I struggle against this very weird top lane. This is a normal queue game, so chances are everybody in this game is not really that good. But let's talk about his skills. His passive is Adrenaline Rush. This allows him to regenerate 0.3% of his maximum health each second. This is an extremely important part of his kit. It's actually in some ways the most important part of his kit, just because Nasus, do not face check that brush, bro. Because it allows you to build almost straight defense, straight health, and then you become this tank who's just completely unkillable. So if you think about it, if you were to stack 6 Warmogs, you're going to regenerate 0.3% of maximum health each second. Let's do like some quick calculations. Let's do 6,000 divided by 0.03. 0.003. Other way around, sorry. So anyways, my math is really failing me right now, but you get the picture. If you build health, sorry, I totally failed there trying to do the math. But if you build health, it allows him to regenerate health even more quickly. So basically what that does is it turns you into this unkillable tank late game. Once you get about 4 or 5 items, most of them are going to be defensive focused and health focused, you become almost unkillable, which makes him very, very interesting and very, very useful late game. Now, another very important skill is his Q, which is his Infected Cleaver. I'm probably throwing some at Misfortune right now as I actually go down again. Goodness gracious, and so does Nasus. Oh, such horrible early game. But anyways, the Infected Cleaver, his Q, this is actually a pretty moderate short-range lined skill shot. It does damage based on the percentage of target's current health, and then it also provides a very strong slow. So, and also if you hit, you actually will return a bit of health. So, and that's another thing I need to mention, that all of Dr. Mundo's skills are not using mana, they actually use health. So, this is kind of one of the interesting ways, because he has this passive that he regenerates health so much, they kind of balance that by saying, if you want to use his skills, you're going to need to use cost health. So it's kind of an interesting mechanic. I just threw a cleaver there on that little minion guy. His Q is his range skill. It's very, very useful. You can use it to farm early game. If you're going in the top lane, this is probably the skill that I would max first. And it's a really great ability. It's probably his primary damage tool and most utility because it has the, number one, the big slow, but also because it does percentage damage of the target's current health. So basically, it's extremely powerful because it allows you to not have to worry about building AD or AP, as I juke Misfortune there. That was one good play. You don't have to worry about building AD or AP. You can mostly focus on building health and then utilize the percentage damage of your Q to be your primary damage tool. So, again, synergizes very well with Tanky Mundo as Akali comes in for a gank. Let's see if we can pick it up. Now I'm going to start talking about his W. That is the spinning orb of death around him as I land a cleaver on Misfortune. Am I going to keep the spinning death flowing? No, I'm going to get stunned by Veigar, but Nasus is going to fall. Achilles is going to pick up that kill. Akali, I'm going to see if I can go help out against Veigar, but I'm getting a little bit low. Landing a Q on Veigar, getting a nice slow there, and popping my W again. The W is, am I going to go down here? Get away, run away, Mundo. Oh, okay, I do make it away, just barely. So the W, that was Burning Agony. That was those circling, burning orbs that were around Dr. Mundo. Basically, this is his primary jungle spell. It deals magic damage per second to all surrounding enemies within a pretty short, close range. Like I said, this is his primary jungling skill. It's also something to turn on in team fights if you're worried about disables, because it reduces the duration by 10%. So another thing that makes him very, very tanky. You can see I'm using it right here against these wraiths. Very effective jungling skill to just clear that AoE out very quickly. Now his E, Masochism, this is actually an attack damage steroid. It gives him plus 0.4 attack damage for each percentage of health that he is missing. So, and it also increases a flat amount of attack damage. So again, a very interesting ability that also synergizes very, very well with his passive and with just building health in general. Basically, if you build a lot of health, you get and you pop your E and you're kind of losing some of it, you're still safe because you have a ton of health, but you also will increase a ton of damage. So again, also synergizing very well with building Mundo very, very tanky. I'm going to see if I can try to help out here. And then his ultimate, Sadism, this will allow Mundo to regenerate 40% of his maximum health over 12 seconds, and you also gave him a massive movement speed bonus. So basically, this turns you into a gigantic walking, unkillable tank who moves really, really fast. So I like to pop this if we get into a team fight and I'm starting to get focused. When I get to about half health, I like to pop my ultimate and then just start chasing down the enemy carry. That's basically how I like to use this, because your health regeneration is going to be absolutely gigantic. It's going to be absurd how much health you're going to regen with your ultimate, and if you're building health, combine that with your passive. So overall, his skill set, he's got a skill shot with a slow, he's got a AoE jungle spell, and then he has an attack steroid, and then a gigantic self-heal plus movement speed boost. So all of this together really, I think, allows Mundo to become this gigantic walking tank. You can see right here, I'm getting low, but I'm really not that concerned because I have just a ton of survivability. I pretty much baited Fiora into that. I intentionally wanted her to target me. Basically, anytime you get into a fight with your teammates around, you want the enemies to be targeting you. You want to be the one who's the damage sponge. That is pretty much the basic definition of a tank. Anytime you get into a team fight, you want to go after the enemy carry. You want to force the other team to have to peel. So right here, I'm diving in. I'm going in on Soraka because she's a lot weaker than Malphite. Then at that point, I'm going to go in at Malphite to try to get him off of my Misfortune. Another job of the tank is to help your team peel. Probably leave my W on a little bit too long, but using my Q there to pick up the kill and to continually slow Malphite. So again, that was a good example of how when there's a team fight, you target the enemy squishy, and then you also want to think about your own damage dealers, your AP carry, your AD carry. You want to think about them. You want to think about what you can do to keep them alive. Because Misfortune was being targeted, I turned my attention to Malphite, using my Q to slow him as he runs away, using my W to try to tick down his damage, using my E to give me that damage boost. It's just very important for you to be a facilitator, to be the one who initiates the fights and the one who dictates the pace of the fights. You know, because you're not going to be able to get a lot of kills But you're mostly there to be an annoyance, to be somebody who disrupts the enemy AD carry from doing exactly what they want to do. You want to be absorbing those bullets from the AD carry, you know. And stacked up AD carry is really not going to be that effective against a stacked up Dr. Mundo, just because he is so tanky. So at this point, just continuing to run through my jungle. Got about 50 CS. We were able to made it through kind of this ugly early laning phase where Nasus and I were quite struggling. Nasus is starting to get some kills though, which is good. Looks like Misfortune is quite a ways up in terms of CS. Also, Akali has had a quite good game so far, getting some nice kills. Let's take a look at the items. Ninja Tabby, very, very standard tanky boots. Pretty straightforward choice. Spirit Stone is a good choice on Mundo, especially if you're going to be jungling. It's pretty standard. And also with the health regen, works very well with Dr. Mundo. You know, health regen is a big part of his kit. Not just building health, but be able to regenerate that health. Now, and then after that, I'm probably going to be going, you can see I've got a Ruby Crystal and 2 Rejuvenation Beads, so pretty much going straight for a Warmogs. As we see if we can focus down with Fortune. Nice, able to pick up a kill there, and just continuing to tank damage from Veigar. He does get the kill, but if you can see, my team is in a very good position, although except Misfortune is going to go down. But my team here is starting to clean up. We're going to be able to get Malphite, and then we're also going to be chasing Soraka. So overall, we definitely came out ahead. We lost 2, but we gained 3. That is pretty much what you want to do as a tank. You want to those type of situations to occur as often as possible. So yeah, I think that was definitely a good fight. I'm starting to... picked up my Giant's Belt, so I'm starting to pick up a lot more health. I'm getting closer to my Warmogs. And like I said before, in terms of items, you know, Warmogs is a very, very solid standard item for Mundo. Definitely an excellent, excellent choice. I also would go for a Sunfire Cape. I think that works quite well with him as a tank. It also works well with his W, because you're going to be doing a lot of that AoE damage in close. You want to be getting in close on the enemy squishies. Also gives you some really nice armor. You know, Randuin's Omen is a really solid choice if their team is getting pretty scary in terms of attack damage. Let's see here. So we're taking a look at this fight. Let's see if I can pick up. I missed a Q there on Misfortune. Can I get... Looks like I'm moving on to Fiora, but going back to Misfortune. Can I get a Q off? There it is. Able to pick up the kill there. Now on to Fiora. Spamming my W, which is costing me health. Able to turn that off. Getting a nice Q there to slow her. Can I get one more? Nice. Able to pick up the kill there. Getting low on about 260 health. But the tricky thing is that I will be able to regenerate this health. Whereas Veigar, he's got 140 health and he's not going to get any better. I'm already up over 300. Able to find him, land a Q there, and able to get the kill. So a nice little trade there. Able to pick up 3 kills. Able to get some nice CS. Again, just showing you how annoying Dr. Mundo can be. He's just so hard to kill. So hard to deal with the enemy team. You know, one thing to keep in mind, though, with that fight is I probably left my W on for too long. You have to remember that because your skills and abilities are casted by using health, you have to remember that if you're you know, spamming your W, which is, it's going to be costing you health over time. So you want to be wise, you want to be smart, and only using that W when you know it's going to be doing the most amount of damage that it can do. When you're right in the middle of that enemy team. Looks like Nasus is getting chased down, and I'm a little bit oblivious. I got to turn and help. Turn and help. Looks like Malphite and Soraka are here, but don't really want to fight. Going to turn on my W and initiate on this team fight, landing Q after Q on Soraka. Veigar pulls off a double kill, but I'm just chasing down Soraka, not really working as a tank right here, and you can see how poorly it went for my team. Soraka's going to try to pull off the heal, but able to pick up the kill. They're now turning on to Misfortune, but their entire enemy team is coming after me, so at this point, I'm going to turn and run, and I believe I'm going to pop my... Oh, actually, I'm just going to go down. So right there, I think that was a really good example. Let's go ahead and back that up, and actually I want to show off as to why this was really poor tanking. So let's just take a look right here. Let's watch this a little bit slower so we can really understand what I should have been doing. So let's pause right here. Let's take a look at what's going on. Nasus is getting chased by 4 members of the enemy team, and then we've got 3 members of our team here on the bottom, and then I am up here. Misfortune is just kind of doing her own thing, which is fine. Now, at this point, what I really should have done is I should have peeled this direction and come back to try to help Nasus escape. I can use my Q to keep Malphite off of him, and Fiora and Vhagar and Soraka. I can try to scare them away, hoping that these three will just kind of swing in from the side. Akali can do a lot of damage. Miss Fortune can do a lot of damage. As a tank, I want to be directing damage towards myself and allowing my team to get into a position where they can do damage. And instead, I'm farming these minions. So, not a smart choice on my part. I'm really sorry, Nasus, as you go down. At this point, I need to be thinking about my team. I should have swung in from this side. Instead of chasing Soraka, I should have been in the middle of this fight in protecting Akali from Vhagar. Now, look at this. Miss Fortune is getting chased, and I am not anywhere near that fight. I do end up picking up a kill on Soraka, but in the end I end up paying for it with my own life. Definitely just shows you how right there I popped my ultimate, which was actually quite unfortunate that Vhagar landed his box right at the moment when I popped my ultimate. But I think that just kind of shows you an example of bad tanking, if that makes sense. You know, it's good to understand what good tanking is. It also helps to know what bad tanking is. So that right there was a bad example. So let's see if I can make up for it. Able to get a Warmogs and building towards a... let's see if we can get... I'm really doing a good job there. You can see that I got... Can I get Vhagar? One more Q. Can I land a Q? Come on, baby. Throw that Q. One more time. Keep going. Keep going. Nice job. Good job, Miss Fortune, following me in. See, look at this. My team is just following me in. I'm initiating. I'm tanking turret shots. I'm causing... Look, if Fiora is running away, she's not attacking Miss Fortune. That is exactly what I want her to be doing. I want to peel their damage dealers away from my damage dealers. And you can see right here, it looks like Vi goes in, so that's my cue. I'm going to get in the middle of this fight. I'm going to try to peel Malphite away from my squishies. And actually did not do that quite successfully there. So at this point, I need to run away using my flash. Probably going to pop my ultimate. And at this point, throwing Qs to slow Malphite. And it looks like Nasus and I can actually get this. He's going to stand and fight in Nasus' spell. I'm going to pop my W, a couple of Qs, and Nasus picks up the kill. He's keeping my W. I got to turn that off. Turn the W off. Nice job. Okay, at this point, I'm pinging for him to run away because we have Akali. We wanted her to join in the fight as well. But it looks like I'm going to actually think about it, throw a Q there to try to help him, but I was not able to do quite enough. Nasus, you simply stayed in there a little bit too long. Throwing more Qs to try to peel Miss Fortune away from me. And man, what is she doing? She really wants the kill, but I am so low, 59 health. And oh, she is almost going to go down there to the turrets. So definitely a good job of just sponging more and more damage. Let's take a look at my items. I have a Warmogs, I have Ninja Tabby, and I'm going for, it looks like a Sunfire Cape. I also have my Spirit Stone, give me a little bit extra regen. And getting right in the middle of this team fight, hoping my teammates can swing in from the side as I'm getting really low, and I do end up going down. But it looks like Vi is able to get in the middle of things. Fiora goes down. Miss Fortune escapes, but their Miss Fortune is getting very, very weak. And it looks like... Can my team make this happen? A nice box there, and ooh! Vi goes down. Malphite is doing a lot of work, and now we got to get out of this. I think Akali's going to go in after Vhagar. That's definitely a good matchup. She's got quite a bit of health. Nasus coming back to help her out. Can she finally pick up the kill? Can she? Yes, she can. One nice Q shot there, and another good job. Excellent job by Akali swinging in there and to pick up the kills. Very, very nice. Well played there by Akali. But yeah, overall, continuing to try to be a tank. So look at this. At this point, I have 3,300 health. I have my Warmogs. I have my Sunfire Cape. I have my Ninja Tabby, my Spirit of the whatever. Spirit Stone. Thank you very much. And starting to get tanky. Starting to become a real threat. Landing a nice Q there on Miss Fortune. And you can see how I'm able to do a decent amount of chunk damage. Right there is another Q. Just scaring her away, slowing her. And I have yet to put a single, bit of gold into any sort of attack damage. Charging in there after after Soraka and Miss Fortune try to scare them away, allow my team to do some work. I don't know what our Miss Fortune is doing up in the jungle. This Vhagar lands a nice box, but he's getting a little bit too out in front. But it looks like we're going to be content to retreat because we do not have Miss Fortune with us. So looks like she's just trying to farm up, which may not be the best choice. But it looks like I'm going to go back, heal up. and just try to get back in this fight, see if we can defend this tower. Things are looking a little bit bleak. We're tied in kills, but total gold is a little weak. Misfortune getting a little bit out of position. Our Misfortune able to blast away, almost getting the kill there. Going to throw a cleaver on Fiora, get the knock up. Nice job by Vi, and Misfortune to get the pickup kill there. Now at this point, I want to really land a Q on Vhagar. Really. There's a nice Q to slow him. Can I keep stacking these Qs for the infinite slow? Looks like, oh, the box might save him, but Akali's going after it, and I'm going to turn my attention to Malphite to stop him from doing damage. Nice job by Akali. Picking up the double kill there. She's up to 14 kills, so Akali has been doing a lot of work, and, you know, I think I'm definitely doing my part in terms of peeling to get their big heavies off of her. Gonna just face check this turret like a boss, pinging it, and it looks like just look at how the turret is really not even doing it. I'm taking 6, 7, 8 shots from the turret. Not a big deal, because I have health for days and I'm regenning like a boss. Definitely in a good position here. We want to push our advantage. We got 3 down. We're all still alive. There's no reason for me to go back with the health regen that I have. Now at this point, looking to peel for Akali. Got to get, there we go, a nice Q. And I noticed that Misfortune stayed back. So at this point, we got to pick up, she is able to pick up the kill. We got a nice job, guys. Okay, so crazy little sequence there, but we were definitely able to come out ahead. And it just shows you how important it can be to have a tank like Dr. Mundo. You know, and I think really at this point in the game, primarily what I need to be doing is initiating and then using my Q, using that utility of that slow to just be a real pest. Anytime I see Vhagar or Misfortune out in the open, I need to be, or even Fiora, landing a Q on them to slow them. You can see we've got Malphite out in the open, landing a Q to prevent him from moving away, picking up a kill there. Now we're going to chase after Soraka. And let's see if I can get a Q. Oh, I missed my Q. So she might actually be able to get away, get into the box, and I don't want to. I'm peeling back for my own Misfortune. Able, right there, doing my job, trying to scare away Misfortune from picking up the kill there, and chasing through the jungle, missing a Q, throwing my whirling death. There's a nice Q, and that might be able to pick up the kill. One more Q. There it is, and she's definitely going down. Nasus lands his slow, and she's going down. So right there shows you how strong utility Dr. Mundo can provide, and especially when you're able to land Qs on their squishies as they're trying to run away. Basically, Mundo is just trying to be that massive thorn in their side. He's just trying to be as extremely annoying and obnoxious as he possibly can be. You know, at this point, I'm just face checking these 2 turrets, which is probably not smart because my team left me, but I can do that. I can absolutely tank damage because I am so beefy. Just absolutely able to tank every little big piece of damage. You know, towards the end of the game, getting up to almost 4,000 or 5,000 health. At this point, about 4,000 health. I'm level 16. I haven't even completed my build. Just picked up another Giant's Belt. Not really exactly sure what type of item I'm going for next. Just trying to clear out this minion wave. But you definitely want to be in the health tab in the item shop. You want to be focusing on stacking health. You can see that I have armor. I've got 166 armor, 72 MR, but mostly trying to stack health, as I'm going to go ahead and solo Dragon here, not a problem at all. Keep slamming those Qs and popping E, especially as I get lower in health. But see, okay, so we get a nice job here. Can I land a Q on Vhagar? He's a little bit out of my range and just trying to scare some people off. I'm not really afraid, you know, because Vhagar is more of an anti-mage, and because I have so much health, he's going to have to do a couple of, probably 2 or 3 full combos on me, and he missed his shots there. I'm really not that afraid of anybody right now, and at this point in the game, starting to get a 10 kill lead, about a 7k gold lead. We're just trying to push down turrets, pick up objectives. You know, the game was looking a little bit risky there for a while, but Akali's having a really nice game. I'm starting to provide a ton of utility and tankiness for my team, and Misfortune is starting to get really farmed. She's doing quite a good job of picking up a lot of minion kills. She's getting a Bloodthirster, Black Cleaver, and a Phantom Dancer. So definitely some good work by my team. Go ahead and speed things up here a little bit. I don't really want to go back, even though I have a lot of gold, just because my team is here, and at this point I really want to be pushing up with my team. Getting some nice Qs off of Misfortune. She's definitely my #1 target. Okay, looks like Akali's going in, but I'm just gonna... Ooh, I don't know if I want to do this. Trying to peel off from Misfortune. She gets picked off. And I don't think this is a fight we want to take, because Misfortune is gone. Again, Misfortune is gone. She's getting a lot of farm, but she's not really rolling with the team very well. And Nasus gets picked off as well, so... Definitely at this point, pinging. Look, I can see the yellow pings all over the minimap. That was me trying to tell Vi, go away. We do not want this fight. I am going back. And it looks like they are going to want to engage here. Misfortune is able to pick off a kill, but she pays for it with her life. So is Vi, and she is in a world of trouble. She does get a kill there on Fiora, so it looks like they did trade pretty evenly, which is weird. I guess Soraka is pretty much worthless. She just does no damage. But... take a look at where we're at now. I'm at 4,800 health. I've stacked 2 Warmogs, Sunfire Cape, Ninja Tabby, Spirit Stone. I think this is pretty much the definition of unkillable. I really wish I knew what if I could do even some basic math whatsoever, I would understand how to actually do this calculation. I'm going to try it again. We're going to do 0.003 times 5,000. So that's 15 health per second. Is that correct? That must be correct. 15 health per second. That is absurd. Health regeneration. I mean, at that point, I'm basically, you know, if Misfortune is doing I don't know, X 100, maybe let's say she's doing 200 DPS. I'm basically cutting 15, that's about maybe 5 or 10% off of the enemy team's carries DPS. I mean, that is pretty absurd. Gives me a ton of sustain. They're getting a nice Q there off on Malphite, popping my W and my E, able to pick up the kill there. Nice job. You can see my attack damage shoots up to a very high amount there with my E, up to over 230. So that's pretty much the primary reason why Dr. Mundo works as a tank, because I have not built a single bit of damage. Fortune, she's going to go down. Yep, that was a little bit overextended there on her part. But I have not built a single bit of damage, and I'm still able to contribute quite heavily in these team fights. Just being a complete and total menace. You know, and this is a really fun playstyle. If you've never really tried to play tank before, I definitely would recommend it. I would definitely, you know, say to give it a shot. Mundo is not very expensive, but he can be a lot of fun. He can definitely, I mean, just look at this game. We got off to a bad start. I really haven't farmed that well, but I'm up to 9 kills, and that's primarily just through landing my Q, getting in the middle of things. As we get a little bit overextended there, I wonder if I can get away. I'm going to try to land a Q, and oh, one more Q from Malphite is going to get the kill there, but he's not going to be able to catch me. No way, not with my Q. But let's see, I'm probably not going to go back yet. I really want to just stay with my team. You know, Misfortune is up. Nasus is up. I need to be in the middle of these fights. Nasus goes down, but we are able to pick up a nice kill there on Veigar, and I'm going to just solo... Oh, Dragon is gone, so it looks like Fiora picked it up. Time to go back and try to protect some turrets from Soraka. Scary, scary Soraka. It looks like Akali's got that more than handled. Let's see, take a look at what I buy. Okay, so it looks like at this point, it looks like I go for tier 3 boots and the Emblem of Valor, and it looks like, if I'm not mistaken, going for the Aegis of the Bulwark. That is definitely a really good item to have on a tank, giving that really solid aura for your team. At this point, I'm pinging Dragon. Nasus is down, but so is Malphite and Soraka and Veigar, and I know that I can tank the majority of this damage from Dragon. You can see it really isn't even weakening me that low, and we drop it quite quickly just because Misfortune's doing quite a bit of damage. Gonna try to get a little bit more farm here, try to push up this lane as we wait for the team to kind of group up together. Want to get a little bit more minion pressure on their inhibitors and turrets. You know, but this is probably not where Mundo wants to be. You know, there's a big fight going off down here in this area, and I am not in the middle of it. And it looks like because of that, I guess we still did pretty well. So it looks like my team is just quite strong. I'm going to be split pushing. I don't really know why I'm running away from Soraka, because I should not be afraid of her. I'm just going to keep pounding away on that turret. And it looks like, here we go, now that my team is kind of swinging in from the side, I'm going to just keep trying to land a nice Q there, and nice job. Misfortune, get out of the turret range. MF, get away. Okay, she finally does. We get the turret, and now we're going for inhibitor. Veigar's kind of getting some pressure down, but not too concerned. MF popping an ult. Not really going to do much with it, but at this point the game is pretty much over. We're up about 10k gold, 14 kills, and you know, I think that this really just kind of highlights how effective Mundo can be. I've got almost 5,000 health, and just extremely, extremely strong. Tanking turrets, not really that concerned. Tanking Misfortune, not really that concerned. Actually, at this point, look at this. I'm tanking a turret, Misfortune, and Veigar, and I finally go down. So it looks like I'm not completely unkillable, but just when I am trying to solo turret and Veigar and Misfortune. That is, you got to know your limitations as a tank. So, but I think at that point it was just kind of a troll moment. The game was pretty much over. Just waiting to respawn. There I finally get my Aegis of the Legion, and I think eventually I try to put that into a... let's see if I can figure this out. There we go. Finally got the camera. Okay. Sorry, I'm gonna go and back things up here. I want to see exactly what's going on in this team fight. So I was able to pick up my Aegis of the Legion, which is going to give my allies bonus armor, MR, and health regen. Very nice statistics. We can see here, everybody's just kind of converging in the middle. Nasus is coming up from the bottom, and I'm going to go ahead and make sure that I am the one tanking damage. Misfortune is here. She's going to pop her ulti and not really get much done, but she gets caught out and land a nice Q there, and I'm making a beeline right for Misfortune. I'm right in the middle of all this. We're able to I am able to get the kill there. Now going for Veigar, landing my W, landing Q after Q, getting a nice job there. Now next squishy, and it's going to be Soraka. Q after Q, keeping my W on. Now for Fiora, trying to get her away. Nice job, able to pick up a double kill there. And Misfortune does actually fall, but still. Right there, I think that really highlighted the effectiveness of a tank. You know, once I saw Misfortune get out of position, I believe Nasus landed his slow, and then I landed my Q, pop my W, pop my E, and go right for her. She is my #1 target in all of these fights. Exactly the one you want to be going for. Then after that, going after Soraka when she's low, Q after Q, her persistent slow. And then after that, we really want to just focus on protecting. You know, able to keep Misfortune alive long enough to get the kill on Fiora. Unfortunately, she did end up falling, but still, it just kind of highlights I think the criticalness of a tank late game. Able to do a good job for my team and have a really good game. Ended up going 12 and 6 and 21, so a boatload of assists. I really wish I knew how much damage sponged you could calculate, but overall, a pretty fun game, I think, is Dr. Mundo. He has a really interesting kit. He is very, very tanky, but yet can still do damage. He can still do a moderate amount of damage. He's not completely worthless in that regard, just because his damage scales off of his health in many ways. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you very much for watching. If you have any questions or comments about Dr. Mundo and his gameplay, please leave them down below. Like I said before, I'm definitely not a professional or expert in Dr. Mundo, but I think I have some of his basics down and wanted to share it with you guys if any of you are considering him, because he's a lot of fun to play. So I hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see you soon.